Howdy folks. Wow, another week. This week is just like other weeks of this year, meaning stocks are not doing great, cryptos are not doing great, and so our wallets are all not doing great. And that's right, we're gonna talk about money this week, and we're gonna focus on the most expensive and the least expensive medical schools in the United States, both for MD and DOs. Now, if you don't know the difference between MD and DOs, that's your fault, because I spent some time covering this topic in another episode. So go watch it. All right, let's go. Howdy, folks. This is Dr. Bao.
Yeah.
The goal of this channel is to make it useful for those of you who might be interested in learning more about a doctor's life. You could be a student, a resident, a fellow, an attending, a parent, or someone who simply loves to information overload yourself.
Seriously.
Although I do work and am affiliated with some hospitals and med school, what I say does not represent the opinion of any entity except myself. Please like or dislike, hopefully not dislike, subscribe, comment, share, and press that bell icon.
Great.
So, how much does med school cost? Tuition for medical schools can vary depending on which of the following 4 categories you are in. Number 1, public med schools for in-state students. Number 2, public med schools for out-of-state students. Number 3, private med schools for in-state students. And number 4, private med schools for out-of-state medical students. There's an ambulance. And when we say in-state, that means the med student attending a particular med school, his or her primary residence is from that state. For example, say you attend UC San Diego and you are a California resident, then you would be eligible for the in-state medical school tuition at UC San Diego. Versus if you were to attend Harvard Medical School and you are a Tennessee resident, then you would be paying for out-of-state medical school tuition for Harvard, which is a private medical school. And so out-of-state tuition is actually not that different from in-state. Now, to be fair, the tuition is probably the most different for public medical schools for in-state students versus all the other categories. To illustrate, tuition and student fees for U.S. medical schools in academic year 2021 to 2022 per AAMC tuition and student fees questionnaire data. As of March 2022, the in-state public med school median cost is about $40,182 versus in-state private medical school median cost is $65,499 versus out-of-state public med school median cost is about $65,486 versus out-of-state private med school median cost is about $65,978. So, as you can see, the biggest difference is between in-state public med school versus everything else, as the difference is about $25,000 per year. Now, since we're gonna cover the top 3 most expensive MD schools, the top 3 most expensive DO schools, the least expensive, or the cheapest, I should say, MD school, and the cheapest, or the least pricey DO school in the United States, I think let's do some definitions first. What we're gonna be reporting in terms of ranking is tuition and student fees, with tuition being the largest portion in terms of number compared to student fees, which, you know, is an amount, but compared to tuition, it's really not that significant. Just so everyone is on the same page, student fees are fees associated with attending a med school, and for simplicity's sake, this includes health insurance costs. And what are some examples of student fees? Anything, say, facility that is public to all the students attending to that particular med school. For example, library, gym, and so on. Keep in mind that room and board are not included in the tuition and student fees. And just so everyone is on the same page, room and board mean, generally speaking, lodging and food. For public MD schools, sitting at number 3 is the Northeast Ohio Medical University, which was the school I went to. I just never knew that it was so expensive. For out-of-state, the annual tuition and student fees was $87,606 versus for in-state students, that cost was $47,426. Big difference. At number 2, the Michigan State University College of Human Medicine. The out-of-state tuition was $89,114 per year versus for in-state students, that cost was $48,983. And at number 1, the most expensive public MD school in the United States. I lumped them together into number 1 because both of them are campuses of the University of South Carolina School of Medicine. One is in Greenville and one is in Columbia. The annual tuition for out-of-state students was around $91,500. That tuition for in-state students was around $47,300 per year. For private MD schools, sitting at number 3, we have the Columbia University Vangelis College of Physicians and Surgeons, which is in New York. And the tuition for both in-state and out-of-state students annually was $73,275. Sitting at number 2, we have the Hackensack Meridian School of Medicine, which is in New Jersey. The annual tuition and student fees for both in-state and out-of-state students was $73,580. And at number 1, the most expensive private MD school in the United States, we have the Kaiser School of Medicine at Dartmouth, which is in New Hampshire. And the tuition for both in-state and out-of-state students annually was $73,935. Man, you gotta be rich to go to med school. And for the least expensive public MD school, we have the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences, Edward Herbert School of Medicine, located in Maryland. The annual tuition is $0. That's right, it's free. The school accepts both civilians and active duty personnel. Students accepted to the program pay no tuition and commission as officers into one of the 4 uniformed services before beginning classes. In return, students will complete an active duty service commitment upon graduating, which could be 7 years for the Army, Navy, and Air Force, or 10 years for the Public Health Service. For the least pricey private MD schools, we have the Kaiser Permanente Bernard J. Tyson School of Medicine located in California. The school accepts 50 students per class. And note, all tuitions and fees are waived for the first 5 classes. And just FYI, the school matriculated its first inaugural class of students in July 2020, which means if you get in right now, you will still pay no fee or tuition. That is a great deal. For DO schools, we have data from the AACOM reports on tuition fees and financial aid from AACOM for academic year 2020 to 2021. That's the most recent report. So there we go. Per this report, sitting at number 3, the most expensive public DO school in the United States is Sam Houston State University College of Osteopathic Medicine, located in Texas, with an annual tuition of $59,125. At number 2, we have the Michigan State University College of Osteopathic Medicine, with an out-of-state annual tuition of $65,417 versus an in-state annual tuition of $47,060. At number 1, the most expensive public DO school is Rowan University School of Osteopathic Medicine, located in New Jersey, with an in-state annual tuition of $44,683 versus an out-of-state annual tuition of $69,668. Next, the most expensive private DO school in the United States, sitting at number 3, we have the Nova Southeastern University Dr. Kiran C. Patel College of Osteopathic Medicine, located in Florida, with an annual in-state tuition of $57,234 versus an out-of-state tuition of $63,953. At number 2, we have the Arizona College of Osteopathic Medicine of Midwestern University, with an annual tuition of $71,833. And at number 1, the most expensive private DO school in the United States is the Chicago College of Osteopathic Medicine of Midwestern University with an annual tuition of $74,035. The least expensive public DO school in the United States is the University of North Texas Health Science Center at Fort Worth, the Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine, with an annual in-state tuition of $23,148 and an out-of-state annual tuition of $38,836. The least expensive private DO school in the United States is the Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, located in Pennsylvania, with an annual tuition of anywhere between $37,200 to $39,900 per year, depending on campus sites. Med school is certainly an expensive investment, but if you are passionate about medicine, it will probably be the best investment of your life or your kid's life. The key is that because it is such an expensive process, we'll all have to do our best to be prepared financially and responsibly. If you have questions about medicine or being a doctor, leave a comment and eventually I will get back to you. For now, best of luck.